The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Deeter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour, and I'm looking kind of ragged because I vowed to not shave or cut my very thinning hair until I am back in my home, like most everybody out here in the Panhandle these days. We're all taking one day at a time, and somebody with me today, a lot of you know Matt Standish, brother Matt, survived as well as his family. Not so much his dwelling, but he had time to finish his new book that is available on Amazon. Yeah, not only is it new, it's his first one. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I want to hear it right from the horse's mouth. Anyway, and Matt runs the vet center up there behind Haney. In case you don't know it, you need help, go see him. All confidential?
All confidential.
All the time?
All the time.
For all vets?
All vets, all active duty, and their families as well.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So tell us what you got going on.
Well, let me start talking about the vet center.
Oh, I knew that you were going to do that because that's your forte.
That's my baby. I mean, we really love what we do at the vet center because it's such a beautiful program. Of course, you know, we are federal VA, but we're very unique in the fact that we literally have nothing to do with the health system, nothing to do with the benefits system. In fact, the very first vet center was started in 1979. Was out in Van Nuys, California, and that was 2 Vietnam veterans who were counseling other Vietnam veterans to help deal with their post-traumatic stress issues. Right. Well, it was Senator Max Cleland from Georgia who saw what these guys were doing, took it to the VA, got them to take it on, and now today we have 300 vet centers scattered all across the United States. Still do basically the same service. We call it readjustment counseling. But now we provide our counseling services to veterans, National Guard troops, reservists, even active duty members, and anybody that they identify as a family member. Could be their parents, their children, spouse, brothers, sisters, their boyfriends, girlfriends, heck, even their next door neighbors. You know, we don't care what the relationship is because you know as well as I do, post-traumatic stress doesn't care either.
No.
It's going to try to destroy that relationship.
Absolutely.
So all they have to do to get seen at a vet center is literally just find one anywhere in the United States. Walk in the front door, they get to see a licensed professional counselor who is also probably a veteran, and then most importantly, and this is why we're set up the way we are, and this is really huge, anybody who comes to the vet center, nobody will ever know that they were there, not even the VA. I mean, it's extreme confidentiality because what we're doing is we're providing that one last option for all those thousands and thousands of troops and veterans out there who've seen really horrible things. But for whatever reason they have, whether it's stigma, they're too macho, whatever, they won't talk to anybody. The vet center gives them a place to go with nothing to worry about.
Yep.
Now, one of the cool things about what we've got going on right now, we recovered pretty quick after the hurricane. It took me a little longer to get back to work, but the vet center itself was open probably within a week. Our building took a little longer. But one of the things we've set up since then is we've pretty much waived all of our eligibility requirements. If they're a veteran, active duty, National Guard, whatever, or family members, and they're having just post-traumatic stress from the hurricane, come on in. I mean, we're not holding anybody back.
Well, that's a great resource
plus,
for the community.
We never turn anybody away anyway, because you know, if they come to us, we're going to do everything we can to help them, even if it's just referring them and getting them to the right person, place to talk to. But if they need to talk to a counselor just because they're having such a hard time with the storm and recovering, we're there for them for that too.
That's just fabulous.
Yeah, beautiful service. Unlike most of the VA, we are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, 7 in the morning till 7 at night. On Fridays from about 7:30 to 8 to 4:30. And if that doesn't work, we will try to do what we can to make something work. We do groups, individuals. We do we're actually one of the only offices in the VA that actually does marriage counseling.
I was not aware that you did that.
Yeah, that's really unique. Every vet center in the country has at least one licensed marriage and family therapist on their staff.
That's terrific.
Relationships.
Yeah, that's terrific.
So torn up by PTSD.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love what we do. It's an amazing service. Vet centers have one huge problem. Nobody knows about us.
Well, let's try and change that.
We are literally the best kept secret in the VA. Well, we're not allowed to advertise. It's all word of mouth.
Yep.
Now, I am the luckiest guy in the VA. I mean, you know, I'm a retired Air Force First Sergeant. first sergeants are really only good at two things. Motivating troops.
Here we go.
And all first sergeants love to talk.
Well, you're good at one, but I don't know which. No, I'm just kidding.
My job with the VA as the outreach specialist is I am literally paid to run around 11 counties and do nothing but talk.
Yeah.
I have way more fun than I should be allowed to have.
And you have a better voice for it than me. So better you than me.
It's a good time.
But yeah.
I plan on doing this until I just can't set up my displays anymore.
Yeah, I understand. I've seen you in action around, the county and whatnot. And the only thing I've ever heard of anybody that's been at a function, the latest one I saw you at was at the Hope Project at Christmas.
Right.
Everybody always has good things to say as they're coming away. They get information they didn't know about or didn't know was available to them.
Right.
And then I've heard them say, because I do eavesdrop, I'm coming to see you, Matt. I'm coming to see you. So that means you're doing something.
We're trying hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we really do love. We also, one of our counselors, our senior counselor, retired at the end of December. And we do have another one in the pipeline getting ready to come on board.
Good.
You probably know her because she is a Purple Heart recipient.
I believe
I don't want to release names right now.
But I know who you're talking about. I sure do.
I'm not sure when she's coming online, but she will be. I hear she's coming on pretty soon.
Good.
We're excited about that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, and that's just more capacity to see more people.
Yep, and she's good people.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yep. So, wow.
Cool. Yeah, good things happen.
Yeah. All right. Now, you know what I want you to do now, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Spill the beans on the book.
Well, it was kind of funny. I started working on a book probably about a year and a half ago, well, about 2 years ago now. Just kind of an autobiography. When I was a first sergeant, and I love being a first sergeant, because the first sergeants get to do a lot of different things. A lot of them are very negative, whether it's slapping a disciplinary action on somebody, making them do push-ups or whatever you got to do. Yeah. Yes, we do that in the Air Force too. We will make them do push-ups.
Oh, I thought you did that in a chair.
Yeah, the Chair Force is a good name, but no, I mean, being a first sergeant, you have separations, you have disciplinary actions. I'm putting people in jail. I'm taking care of domestics. All these negative things. What you don't hear about is all the positive things, all the really cool, fun things we get to do, whether it's promotions or awards, or just being there on the sideline at an intramural football game, cheering people on, going to people's house to, just to say welcome, looking after families while their troop is deployed to an environment somewhere. A lot of really positive things. Well, as a first sergeant, and this carried over my trip to Iraq, the way I dealt with all the negatives was I made it my job to come to work every day with the plan of making as many people smile every day as I could.
It's a good outlook.
It really worked well. In the book, I kind of called it my smilenosophy, my philosophy of smiles. Yep, it's really fun.
I'm blessed with goofyosity. So.
That works too. That's part of it.
Pretty goofy.
But what it was you pile up all these nice positives, so you got a huge pile to draw from, and then when you have that negative stuff starts to creep up, you kind of draw from the positives to keep that that positive outlook going. So
Makes sense.
The book it's literally an autobiography. I try to call it a motivational autobiography, because what it is it's stories of mine from 3 years old until right after the hurricane.
I was going to ask you if diapers were involved. I'm glad you didn't go that far
Almost,
back.
not quite that far. About 3 or 4 years old, as far back as I went.
Good.
But it's basically stories of mine that made me smile. And the goal is to make other people smile. They read a story, it makes them smile. That's why I titled it, because I love to smile and make other people smile, so you can smile too. So I'm just sharing my smiles with other people. And I do give a kind of a warning that there are some stories in there from first sergeant times that are very, very sad.
Yeah.
But everything has some sort of a positive outcome. Like one story was about a young airman of mine, female, who basically, I don't want to give everything away, but anyway, she was pregnant. It was unplanned. Didn't know what to do, so I was trying to help her along. Well, and her boyfriend was actually very good to her. He's very positive, stuck with her the whole time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, really a good side. The baby was born and then passed away 45 minutes later. Very, very sad. Her parents were there, and I was there trying to, help through it and everything. So anyway, a few weeks later, you're kind of hoping that she's going to recover, trying to get her lined up to talk to people. And I start hearing things from her supervision that she is not getting any better, that she's always on the phone, that she's always crying and everything. So I called her up to my office. I said, send her to me. I want to talk to her. She came up, sat her down in a chair, just kind of start talking and probing and say, I hear you're not recovering very well. I said, so can you tell me what it is? And I say, is it your boyfriend? Is it the baby? Is it your parents? Is it something, whatever it is?
Right.
And the whole time she's sitting in the chair, her head's like this, and she's going, and the tears are going down her cheek.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I need you to start talking to somebody. I say, are you talking to mental health? Are you talking to a chaplain? Are you talking to anyone? And I say, well, if you don't talk to somebody about this, you're not gonna get any better. Right. So, and I need to see some improvement. So I kind of threatened her, and because we had a tool that we use called a commander-directed mental health evaluation.
Which means forcefully cajoling.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
You'll take the
we're going to
directive.
shove you over there and get you evaluated.
Yeah.
And probably 95% of the time results in a separation. So I said, listen, if I don't see some improvement, see, I don't care who you talk to. You could talk to me, you could talk to a friend, talk to your parents, chaplain. I don't care. I just want you talking to somebody and seeing you getting better.
Sure.
Well, apparently the threat worked.
Talk it out.
Yep. Because I didn't hear about any problems anymore. She started smiling a lot more, and the day I was leaving that squadron to go to another one, I came to my office and there were 2 envelopes on my desk. Very cool. They were both from her. I opened one and it was a wedding invitation. It was her and her boyfriend were going to get married.
Good.
So I got to go to that, and the other one was just a thank you card and a farewell. And in there she said she could not come to my going away party because she would cry the whole time. So just amazing. And I want to say I still have those cards anyway. Well, I did have those cards somewhere, but that's all gone now. But when I would see her later on, they had 2 children together, both 2 healthy baby boys. And every time I saw her, she was just bright, shining.
Good.
Doing really well. I got the most awesome hugs from her that every time I saw her. So that was a story that was really sad, but it had a really tremendous positive outcome at the end.
And that's good. Yeah. I'm glad that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And along those lines, and I can only speak for me, one of the hardest things I ever had to do was get to the point where I could forgive myself.
Right.
Oh my, man. What a struggle.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was part of it too.
For years. I mean, a long time.
Right.
But when you get there and you know that God Almighty's okay with you, then you get okay with yourself, it makes the road just a little bit smoother for you. Doesn't mean you ever forget.
Right.
But
yeah, the book, it's not a huge book. It's only 135, 140 pages, but there's a chapter about being a first sergeant.
Right.
There's a chapter about my time in Iraq, which was actually absolutely amazing time. I had a ball over there. I mean,
Good
being
for
in
you.
Iraq was beautiful. Well, I mean, I called it First Sergeant Paradise. I mean, you think about it. First off, we're Air Force, so of course we have all the best stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. We're only there for 6 months anyway. But for me, it was beautiful because all the stuff we have to deal with normally. Well, none of my people could leave the base, so I had everybody trapped. There was no alcohol. At least I never found any. And
you want me to tell you how to get some in?
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
That's one of the things I didn't want to know while I was there. Because
good first sergeant.
Well, my people, let's just say they never gave me an excuse to go looking for it.
Smart troops.
Good troops. Yeah. No husbands and wives were over there together. Well, that's like 90% of my usual issues gone out the door. So everything was about morale.
Yeah, my grandson and his wife were in the same FOB, and I'm like, they're both medics. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, that's
Who's the
rough.
genius that did this?
Yeah, that's not good.
No. I told him, I said, you get her out of there as quick as you can, or you get out. One of the others got to go.
Yeah, but there's a whole chapter about all these things that I got to do because, you know, every day was just finding some way to make people smile. Because, like, I had we would have these monthly awards and promotion ceremonies. And I had done one of them and turned it into an NBA All-Star game, which really turned out to be a blast. But for the next one, another squadron took it over, and I wanted to do something special for that. So I went to visit I had a vehicle maintenance shop belonged to my squadron. And I went to the flight chief and I asked him, I just walked up to him, I said, listen, I would think that a very bright, creative, imaginative vehicle maintenance flight should be able to come up with some kind of a squadron noisemaker. So he just looked at me and he said, I got you. Didn't tell me what he was going to do. So I get to the recreation tent before the next ceremony starts. And he's there waiting for me. He told me to meet him there an hour early. And he goes behind the counter, and I might have a hard time seeing this, but he pulls out this. It's like a 2-foot-long can with truck horns attached to it, a pull cord, and a gauge that read 200 PSI. And I said, perfect. So hide it. He put it behind the counter. So I'm all the way in the back, and the ceremony's starting. And I ease it out, and I put it on the floor right in front of me. And the first time one of my troops goes across the stage, wonk, pulling that thing, and everybody jumped.
I was going to say, how many jumped?
It was great. But that was my whole time in Iraq. Now, the rockets were a little annoying. I mean, that's kind of what happens. But our insurgents were really horrible shots. They couldn't hit anything. And most of the rockets weren't armed properly, so they never exploded. The end result for me was all of my people came home without a scratch.
Hallelujah.
So beautiful time.
Hallelujah.
There's a chapter in here about my son. I'm very proud of my son. He was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when he was about 7, and there's a whole chapter about us raising him and some of the fun stories that we have with him. Like one time, we had bought him this Christmas present, and it was some kind of a headset. I don't know what it was supposed to do, but it had this little antenna with this little plastic knob on the back of it. Well, the first time we put it on him, he was doing okay. The next thing we know, he is running around screaming at the top of his lungs. And we're trying to catch him. So, what's wrong? Well, he had seen that little plastic knob back there. He thought a bug was chasing him. Now, I'm trying hard not to laugh.
Right.
But he never played with that thing again after that.
He was done.
But very proud of him. He graduated high school with a 4.3 grade point average.
Wow.
Yeah, he graduated from Gulf Coast State College with an associate's degree in, I think it was software and database development. He's worked at the commissary on Tyndall Air Force Base for 9 years, which just really helped his social skills develop. Just amazing.
Good.
And now he works for a local company doing data entry for them. And he got hired on just before the storm. Started him at $34,500 a year. With all benefits.
That's good.
Everything.
That's good.
When the storm was coming, he evacuated. His company gave him a laptop to take with him so he could continue to work.
Sure, yeah.
Well, it turned out that for 2 days after the storm, he was the only person in his area that could work, in his division,
Right.
Here in Panama City. So he kept him going for 2 months. Well, when he came back about a month or two later after the storm, they gave him another $4,000 a year raise.
That'll work.
Now, he officially makes more than my Air Force retirement now.
That's
We're
good.
really proud of him.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, there's a chapter about my Harley, so I got to have something in there about that and all the rides. And
Real quick, you pointed out that air horn system.
Mm-hmm.
We have a brother that rides a trike, and he has 2 locomotive air horns
Nice.
on his trike.
Oh, no.
And yeah.
how to get people out of the way.
Because of those 2 horns, we nicknamed him Horny. But if he blasts those things, man, you'll come out of your skin.
That's cool.
It's like, brother, please don't do that again.
Nice.
But in any event, tell everybody how to get it, where to find it on Amazon, because you said it is available
It is on Amazon.
right?
Yeah, I actually self-published it through Amazon. It's available.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. I went through a part. It was called Kindle Direct Publishing. It used to be called Amazon Create Space. but it switched over while I was doing all this. And the
Probably
paperback
can't
is
see that too
available.
well.
Well, both paperback and electronic versions are available on Amazon.
Cool.
Just look up the title, You Can Smile Too.
You Can Smile Too.
The
Got it.
paperback's a little expensive because it's print on demand,
Oh,
but the
print on
ebook
demand.
is only like $9. And it's a lot of fun. There's even, like I said, there's an addendum on the end about riding out the storm and a couple of positive stories I had from there.
Hurricane Michael, the
Yeah,
gift
Hurricane
keeps
Michael
on
made life
giving. Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
I remember, I don't know if you saw it, but I had put a top 10 list of reasons I can smile after Hurricane Michael.
No, I didn't look.
Oh, you didn't? I put it
No,
on
I'm going to buy the
Facebook.
book. Don't
Okay.
you? Yeah. I mean, you can show me if you want to.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I think the number one reason I put on there I can smile after Hurricane Michael was I survived a Cat 5 hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though we knew it from the outset,
Yeah.
now we finally have official word
Yeah,
that
of course.
it's a Cat 5.
The number 10 reason I could smile after the storm, and it was not necessarily in that order, but was my Harley survived.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
big.
Our bikes did too. Of course, we went to the dark side. We're Indians now, so.
Oh,
wait,
that's
no.
right. That's right.
They're going to stop that. They're going to have to call them Native American motoring machines or something. So somebody
That's
will
okay.
raise Cain about it sooner or later.
I
but
know.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, the idea of the book is just to make people smile. If people buy it and like it and love it, the one thing I really want is somebody to write to me and tell me what stories they like the
Sure.
most.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I hear
I
you.
love hearing feedback. If it makes a difference in somebody's life, because I'm a firm believer in random acts of kindness.
Yep.
Little positive things you can do for people, because you never know if that one little act of kindness may have stopped somebody from taking their own life that day.
Exactly.
You never know,
Oh,
so-
brother, you just said a mouthful.
So
I
doing
knew
it
a
is-
couple, and I'm sorry to interrupt
That's
you.
okay.
I knew a couple that was their plan and their intent. I had only met them once, saw them again somewhere, and just normally, I'm friendly. I love people.
Right.
And don't want to hurt them.
Right.
Unless I have to. And I don't really want to do it then. But I just walked up, hey, how you doing? Give me a hug. Well, like I did with the young lady here. Hey, hug the old man's neck. Same thing with her husband. Great big hug. Hey, man, hug my neck. Yeah. About 2 weeks later, they came to me and told me, we're so glad you came over and hugged our neck and told you you loved us. And I said, well, why is that? And then they told me they had both planned on checking out that night.
That's amazing.
My hair stands on end. But you never know. Like you said, you never know what's going to turn that page for somebody. Now, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag about what I want to do, because I'm going to buy the paperback.
Appreciate it.
Well, not to line your pockets, because you ain't going to get rich over it. But here's what my plan is with the book. I'm going to read it. I'm going to put my name in it. I'm going to give it to a brother or a sister.
Cool.
And say, you read it, you sign it, you give it to somebody else, and get it passed around. Deal?
Deal. Sounds wonderful.
Deal.
Thank you, brother.
You got it. Thank you.
No worries.
Absolutely, thank you. Well, I hope to see you out on the highway.
Oh, you will.
Yeah. We're planning on going to D.C. 24 May.
Okay, cool.
For Rolling Thunder. So,
Well, Thunder Beach is coming up.
yeah, we'll be out there.
Yep, I'll have the big white truck parked
Where are
out
you
there
setting up at?
Frank Brown Park.
Frank Brown.
I don't
We're
know
going
where
to be at
in Frank
Lucky
Brown Park.
13 for a while, but we'll come out. We'll come out and see you.
I'll be there. I will bring my bike out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and park it in front
And
of
it's
the
a
truck.
gorgeous bike. Go out there and see my brother out at Frank Brown Park during Thunder Beach.
It's always a good time.
And he'll have all the information you could possibly want. Some trinkets he'll be giving away too. So,
And the big thing for the Vet Center is if you know anybody you think needs our help, tell them about us. Help us
Absolutely.
spread the word.
Yep, absolutely.
There's way too many veterans and troops are still taking their own life, and we're a resource that can help with that, to give them that safe place to go where they don't have to worry about anything.
Yep, 22 a day, unbelievable. And that's 23 too many.
I agree.
Absolutely. Don't get me crying.
I'll try not to.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you too, brother.
Glad you came out.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks
And
for
I'll
having
see
me.
you. Yeah, absolutely. The door's always open to you.
I know.
All right, that's going to wrap us up for this edition of Military Hour. I'm honored to be in your presence. I love you. And
I'm just as honored as you are.
tell everybody to come out and see Matt, and right behind Haney if you want to go to the facility, but see him out at Frank Brown Park during Thunder Beach. We're out of here.